What if you don't need to live in pain and suffering? What if you could give up your karma and have a life of abundance and joy? What if you could start creating magic and miracles that you never thought were possible? Get ready to listen, share, and experience the magic that is you. Now, here's the host of Creating Abundance with Ease radio show, Dr. Helen Gitlevich.
Welcome. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease. And today, our show is Refusal of Choice. And before we go to our topic, I just want to let you know a little bit about me if you're first time joining. I'm a medical doctor who became Access Consciousness Facilitator and Akashic Record teacher, podcast host, published author, 3-day body facilitator. And now, through my history, I actually had a little bit of a snag. When I was practicing medicine, I had open heart surgery at 37 because of stress. And I was looking and searching for ways to help people. So now I facilitate classes around the world and do private sessions online and in person to create a different possibility with health, with money, with relationship. And that's my invitation to kind of like let go of your limitations through the tools of Akashic Records and Access Consciousness. So today's show is Refusal of Choice. And we'll be using the tools of Access Consciousness and Akashic Record to see how we can change and choose something different. So how much are you refusing to choose? Are you saying you don't have a choice? What if not having a choice is still a choice? So let's play with those ideas. Because years ago, I was one of those people who felt like I didn't have a choice. That, well, maybe not everything predetermined, but I was in a situation where I was stuck. I was stressed, I was overworked, I was depressed, all of those things. And I remember talking to my mentor. I was doing a lot of different modalities even then. At that time, it was Woman Zen, and Sherry was my mentor. And I said, I don't have any choice. And she's like, not having a choice is still a choice, darling. And I'm like, no. I argued with her. It took me a couple of years to realize that everything is a choice. And I'm not saying it's cognitive choice or conscious choice, because we can choose differently. We can choose consciously and cognitively, or let's separate those. Consciously is through our higher self, well, not so much higher self, but through our being and our being journey. A lot of times it's not cognitive, but it's still a choice. Cognitively is when we know what we're doing, we're choosing it. And there is also unconscious and anti-conscious choices. Unconscious choices is when we are choosing something that we know unconscious choices is when we go like autopilot. Choosing, but we have no idea why. Choosing and something shows up and it's like, I didn't choose that. Yeah, like a lot of diseases, we choose it unconsciously or anti-consciously. Anti-consciously is when we choose something we know we shouldn't be choosing and choose that, or don't choose something that we were supposed to choose. Examples of anti-conscious is very easy. It's somebody invites us on a date, we kind of go, even that we felt that maybe we shouldn't, and then end up maybe in bed with them where we absolutely knew it was a bad idea, right? That's anti-conscious. Or we know we shouldn't be eating something and we still that second piece of cake or pastry or another serving on the buffet. We know we shouldn't be doing it, and yet we do. Unconscious, a lot of times, like diseases show up. We have no idea why or how we chose that. But the unconscious choices I'm talking about is when we think or say something like, I don't want to live like that. And the body listens or universe listens and like, okay, let's create cancer, heart disease. Like for me, that was exactly the choice I made when I was looking at my life. It's like, I don't want to live like that. And I knew I had a choice of getting out of the situation, like getting a divorce, changing career. But I waited until I actually was so sick that I couldn't work, that I was looking at where I was and I'm like, oh, okay, that ain't working for me. So within about 6 months of my surgery, I got a divorce, and I think it took me about a year to sell my practice because I was still hoping to go back. Well, I knew I wouldn't, but still. So that's where we are refusing to choose. And then our body or universe chooses for us because we already put that idea into the universe. Same with money. How many of you saying, oh my God, I have so many bills, I don't have money to pay for them? Guess what are you creating? More bills and lack of money. That's, yeah, sometimes we're so cute and not so smart, not so clever. And it's all about knowing. We refuse to know a lot of times. We know much more than we think we do. And yet we shut down our awareness. We shut down our receiving, which is an awareness, because we think of something as something is right, something is wrong, something is good, something is bad. So we're avoiding certain energies in our lives. And when we are avoiding something, when we're resisting something, we're actually inviting them more. This is a conundrum, I would say, of universe, because universe does not have polarity of right and wrong, good and bad. It doesn't think in those terms. It thinks more like the universe doesn't think. It just is. It's a space. And in a space, everything is possible. It's like that genie. What's your wish? I'll make it happen. Same thing with the universe. Whenever we put a thought, a feeling, an emotion, or even say, like not even, but saying something, that's vibration, because everything is energy. Words have a vibrational meaning, and it goes out in the universe inviting quantum entanglements or random entanglements to create for us. Sometimes it takes time, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it shows up very fast, especially things that we're afraid of. The stronger the fear, the stronger the emotion behind our resistance or reaction, we actually create faster. I've talked to a guy who is like, we were talking about law of attraction, because we can ask anything we ask, we receive. And he says, but I always was thinking of opposite of what I want, and I would get what I want. And that's actually true. A lot of times we're more afraid of success. So we start thinking of what can go wrong. But what can go wrong doesn't have a charge, because we are so cannot believe that we will get what we desire, that it actually creates it. But opposite is true. If we really truly desire something, we can create that. And if we desire something but afraid that we will not get it, we will not get it. So there is so many parts to creation and choice that a lot of times people don't realize how much power they have, because they shut their creative abilities so much because they are afraid to create their fears. So part of the thing that I would like to talk today about is forgiveness. Because a lot of times we don't choose, or choose something that hurts us and hurts our body. Stems a lot of times where we hurt ourselves. Also part of perpetual cycle of karma. A lot of times we refuse to choose because of past. That is, that either past life or even this lifetime. If we did something wrong in our eyes, there is no right and wrong, but in our eyes, if we judged ourselves as being wrong towards somebody, or if somebody wronged us, so a lot of choices we make stems not from a true choice, but either from resistance and reaction, or alignment and agreement, saying what kind of like making them pay for what they did, or making us pay for what we did. The other person forgot what we did, but we're still carrying that guilt, and a lot of our choices are based on that guilt. So as I said, there is so many parts to refusing to choose, and as I said, one of them is that unconscious and anti-conscious choices, and some of them stems either from guilt, anger, shame, blame, regret, all those programming that been instilled in us for many generations, not even like this lifetime, past lifetime, but even generations. We talk a lot of times about Jewish guilt. We talk a lot about the anger, the shame of different nationalities. And with that, the choices become limited. This is time for our first break. Time flies, isn't it? So when we return, we'll talk more about forgiveness, and we'll talk more about the tools of how to let go of the guilt and the shame and the blame. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Inspired Choices Network. And we'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I am Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease, and today our show topic is Refusal of Choice. And before we went on a break, we were talking about how much of not choosing is still a choice, and how much of not having a choice or choosing unconsciously or anti-consciously stems from a lot of feelings and emotions of guilt, shame, blame. And we're talking about past karma. Karma can be from this lifetime or other lifetimes when we feel guilty, something unfinished contracts. And so forgiveness a lot of times plays a role with everything in our lives. Because if we feel guilty, that's not a true choice when we choose something, because a lot of it will stem from punishing ourselves, abusing ourselves, or doing something or thinking something that we don't deserve. Or if we are angry at somebody, same thing, we might not choose for us, we might choose against them. So to prove our point, and especially when we feel guilty about something we did, especially toward ourselves. So the forgiveness prayer I'm talking about, it's part of Akashic Records work. It has the tools of prayers and meditation to shift the karma, shift those emotions, and allow us the choice. So I'm going to read the prayer. I allow forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from everything that I have done, been, seen, and heard, to anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have experienced that was done, been, seen, heard to me by anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, and heard to me, by me, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. With forgiveness, this prayer I have channeled. I opened a school of Akashic Records about 6 years ago. I've been doing Akashic Records work for about 25 years. And what I found, the choice that we have is infinite. We have infinite possibilities. And yet, we are limiting it by our emotions, by our thoughts, feelings. And I remember looking in Akashic Records, because a lot of things are solidified by our choices, by prior choices, prior emotions, prior feelings. And when I started, right now it's much more space in Akashic field because I cleared a lot, but at that time I could see like the past was solid, but again not very solid. there were infinite possibility of past, present, and future, and you see that in Akashic field. But the future was more like a blueprint, constantly changing, constantly shifting. And what happens is, like when you go to a psychic to read the future, they'll tell you a couple of possibilities, 1, 2, or 3. By knowing that, you're actually solidifying that, and now you kind of don't have a choice anymore. When you're playing in Akashic field, you actually see the possibilities, and you can choose. Each choice creates a different set of possibilities, and it shifts and changes according to your choices. And you actually can choose to change your past, which is mind-boggling, because time is not real. And we've known that ever since Einstein's theory of relativity. He said time is relative. Time is not just relative, it's simultaneous. And the only thing why this time is here like linear, because we've decided it's linear. How often do you actually get to places sometimes much faster than you thought is possible? Maybe half the time, almost by magic. Not almost, it is magical, because then it's not your mind creating, it's your being is actually realizes that time is not real, and you move through space much faster. And that's a choice we can make. We can choose to live in this reality where everything is solid, everything is not changeable, and everywhere kind of like where we have the guilt, the shame, the blame. That's probably one of the most of the things that solidifies things in our lives. Because it's not real, we cannot fight it. It's almost like we don't have any power against time. Next week I will be talking about aging, and we'll talk more about father time and all of those things. But what if for a second, or even less, you realize that time is not real, and your past, present, and future are actually all one. And you can shift and change anything in your life just by choosing it. How cool would it be? And I like to do expansion exercise to prove the point. So without any expectation, let's just allow ourselves to relax. If you're not driving, you can close your eyes, or you don't have to close your eyes. Just feel yourself sitting on a chair or laying down, whatever you feel more comfortable. And you can download that meditation from my website. It's my gift to you. That kind of signs you up for newsletter, and you can always unsubscribe. But that's totally free. And just allow yourself to relax. Open your crown and pull the energy of the universe through your crown, through your body, and allow it to go through your feet into the center of the universe. It's interesting because usually I go to the center of Earth, but right now something shifts, so you don't have to know where the center of the universe is. Just allow the energy to go there. And pull from the center through your feet, through your body, and let it go out through your crown, and then pull all the universal energy from all over the universe through your body into the center of the universe, or into the universe itself. because universe is infinite. And allow those energies, which is the same energy, to mix in your heart, to clear your heart. And as it swirls, allow it to expand throughout your body and cleanse every cell, every molecule in your body. Keep pulling energy through the top of your head and through the feet. And allow it, as it cleanses the cells, the organs, and the molecules, allow it to expand. Maybe imagine it as a waterfall, and it's expanding throughout the universe. First, maybe a mile or kilometer, 10 miles, 10 kilometers, depending on where you live, what measures you have, and expand maybe 1,000 miles, 1,000 kilometers. Make yourself as big as the whole planet and go beyond it. Make yourself as big as the solar system, as our galaxy, and as the universe, and keep going into the multiverse. From that space, is there a time? No, it's just space. As Dr. Dane, one of the co-founders of Access, with Gary Douglas, he started saying lately, space is now, now is the space. What if space is the only thing that's true and real? What if you are space? If you contract it with that thought, allow yourself to expand again. Pull more energy from the universe and allow the energy to go freely through your body and allow it to cleanse all the organs, all the cells, and pull more energy through your body and allow it to come and go as it pleases. Don't try to hold on to it. Don't try to limit the flow. Don't try to maximize the flow. Just allow the flow to be. Because this is a space. And just be present with the space. And allow the space to shift and change everything around you. Your energetic body, your physical body, which is also energetic. And just allow you to choose to be in this moment. And just be. And this is time for our second break of the show. And you're welcome to stay in that space until we come back. And you listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Inspired Choices Network. And we'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Magic and abundance are everywhere. What if you could tap into abundance and start creating your life with complete and total ease? Working with Dr. Helen Gitlevich will give you exactly that, total ease in creating abundance in your life. Dr. Gitlevich creates classes all over the world, both in person and online. She works with you to create abundance with your money, with your body, with your relationships, with all areas of your life with total ease. Connect with Dr. Helen Gitlevich at creatingabundancewithease.com. Her contribution in your world will be a noticeable gift in a very short period of time.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease, and today our show topic is Refusal of Choice. And in the first two parts of the show, if you haven't been with us, or you're listening just to the third part, we talk about that not having a choice is still a choice, and a lot of times we choosing not from the desire but from fears. And also in the second part, we were talking about how much our emotions like guilt, shame, blame, and regret, anger, actually not allowing us to choose, that we react more so than we act, either out of fear, out of anger. And we worked a lot with forgiveness prayer, and also we did expansion exercise talking about time is not being real. Time is just a construct. So we actually can change our past, our future, our present, just by choosing something different, because nothing is fixed other than by our choice. And being a medical doctor and now choosing to be a facilitator and Akashic Record teacher, facilitator of access consciousness, I use tools pretty much of all the modalities, all the techniques that's available to me to change people's lives. And you can find out more on my website, creatingabundancewithease.com, or connect with me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm not on TikTok, sorry. But I think I have an account on Twitter, though I don't use it. So if you message me on Twitter, I probably will not respond. But anything else, I will in YouTube channel. And next week, this show is every week on Wednesday, live at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time and 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Depending where you are in the world, you can listen at different times. And it also goes into podcast on different stations. You can check it out. Now we are even on Audibles, like Audible Books, and SoundCloud, and iTunes, and Spotify. Everywhere you can listen to us for free. And next week, our show topic will be your body and aging. And we'll talk more about how we refuse to choose to stay young, because there are so many tools that allow us to slow down aging or not age at all. There were a few people that I know that either aged gracefully or kind of like choose to be young for a long time. So, but that's discussion for next week. Today we're discussing or talking about refusal of choice. So there are so many ways we refuse to choose. One of them, or like we were talking before, one more is when we're trying to decide. When we make a decision, a conclusion, where we have to stick with it forever, and that's not a choice. That's a decision where it closes so many possibilities. Choice is much easier. Choice, you choose, it works, it doesn't work. If it works, continue with that. If it doesn't, you choose something else. See how, like, there is a tool of access consciousness, light and heavy. So whatever is true will always make you feel light or expanding. And whatever is alive will feel heavy. When I even say the words or concept, choice, feel how light it is? Versus when I say decision, make a decision. Ugh, it's heavy. I don't like it. I don't like decisions anymore. I like choices. And choices create much more. A lot of times people ask me in classes, in sessions, how do I choose? I have no idea. People have no idea how to choose. That's the thing. We are not taught to choose. Even as we grow up, we are given maybe 2, maybe 3 choices. Would you like to have vanilla or chocolate ice cream? Is that a choice? No. It's already limited. It's already only 2 decisions. And what if I want a mix? What if I want strawberry? What if I want raspberry? There is the 33 flavors in United States, or at least it used to be. I'm not sure if they still exist because the store by me closed down. So even 33 flavors, it's still, you make a decision there. But what if you could choose, okay, now I'll have vanilla, now I'll have chocolate, now I'll have strawberry, now I'll have this. And if you like one of them, you stick with that. And in the ice cream parlor where there is a lot of flavors, you are allowed to taste different flavors. And that's kind of like as close as we get to choices in our lives. So let's play with the idea. In Access Consciousness, we have a wonderful tool. Your choice is good only for 10 seconds. Choose for 10 seconds and that's it. And then choose something else or choose again. Or if you like it, you do the same thing over again. So I'm going to time you guys and I'm going to say, and we'll play with just movements. Maybe movement with the hand, because I'm a little limited because I'm on camera. So I'll be just doing different motion with my hand for 10 seconds. You can stand up, you can sit down, just play with that. So starting now, I'm going to move my hand like this. And I'm just choosing it. And now I'm choosing to put my hand down. So what are you choosing? And choose again. Now I'm flowing up and down with my hand. And you can choose something different. And choose again. And I'm doing sideways. And choose again. I'm doing circles if you're just listening, not watching, because there are stations where you can watch the video and like on TV stations, and now choose again. Did you notice do you have any thoughts, feelings, or emotions when you're choosing? Choose again. And choose again. So how did you feel? Like for me, I didn't have any thoughts, feelings, or emotions when I was doing 10 seconds increments of choosing. And that's what choice is. Choice is not based on emotions. Choice is not based on thoughts. It's just a choice. There is no justification, because a lot of times we try to justify our choices to prove that it's correct choice. In that case, it's not a choice anymore. It's a decision. And a lot of times when I was growing up, I was told, decide already, come on. As a child, when a child is young, they choose. They play with one toy, then they drop it, then they go to the next. That's a choice. They literally being choice. When you watch a small child, they crawl. They choose based on fun, based on what's creating joy for them. They don't like crying. They like laughing. So they'll crawl, they'll explore, and I notice the same thing with my cat. She will choose in a moment. Like, she'll bring her toy to me, and she gets bored, she walks away, she drops the toy, she goes to sleep, she jumps on me to snuggle, and then when she's done, she walks away. That's pure choice. What if we be like that? How much our life would be easier. And then you would say, oh, but what about responsibility? What about we have to go to work. We cannot just choose based on that. And it's time for our third and final break of the show. And we'll talk more about that, more about responsibility versus choice after we come back. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease. And today our show topic is refusal of choice. In the first three parts of our podcast, I was talking about that we refuse to choose based on our emotions, feelings, thought, especially the guilt, the shame, the blame, where forgiveness plays a huge role of letting go of those things so we can choose. Sometimes we choose based on resistance and reaction. Also, a lot of times not having a choice is still a choice and creating out of fear. before we went on a break in the last segment, we were talking about choosing in 10 seconds increments and choosing for joy and fun, just like children do, like animals do. And then the question of responsibility came in. So what if responsibility is not what you think? Because the word itself, original meaning was ability to respond, and that's actually choice. A lot of times actions look the same. It's the emotions behind it. That's the difference between choosing and deciding. I know when my mom was alive, she demanded that I would call her every day. And that was my responsibility. I resisted and reacted to that. That was not a choice. I had to do it. So I called her, but it took me a lot of like, oh, I don't want to call her. I'll call her later. All that. And eventually I would call, or I would forget to call, and then I would get scolded. That was not choice. So in Access, we have certain tools that clear our judgments of whatever it is in front of us. And as I talked before, the emotions cloud our judgments. So I did a lot of forgiveness prayer, and I did a lot of like judgment release exercise that Access consciousness has. Took me a couple of months, maybe 3 months, and suddenly I realized, wait a second, I like calling my mom. I like talking to her. So there was no more have to, must to. It was a choice, and the choice became very light, because that was true. I did like to call. So with that, I started calling her once a day, twice a day, sometimes 3 times or 4 times a day when I just wanted to talk to her. And she stopped demanding it, because it's a dance. A lot of times when we refuse to choose, other people choose for us and exert control. And that's when we stuck in the perpetual have to, must to decisions where it's not working for us. At least it wasn't working for me. And I know we don't have much time left in the show. I just want to remind, this is not the last show, so there would be another one next week. And as I say, it's going to be your body and aging. And we'll talk more about that. It's 11 o'clock Central Standard Time on Wednesdays, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You can also find out about my classes that's coming up, and especially about aging. I'm doing facelift class on October 9, and you can find out on my website, creatingabundancewithease.com. It will take you to Access Consciousness website, or you can just find it on Access Consciousness website. I'm also doing stress reduction workshop online on October 11, on Monday in the evening, 7:30 Central Standard Time. I'm not sure what time your time around the world, but you can find out more again on the website. Bars class on 17th, Being You One Day Adventure, that's split in 2, that will be translated into Mandarin, and that's early in the morning Central Standard Time, where it's an evening in China and Taiwan. So what if we start choosing based on choice? It's all about how we perceive our lives, how we perceive other people. And a lot of times, the choice is not even ours. Because as I said, it could be from emotions of anger, shame, blame, regret, and guilt. So I'm going to do forgiveness prayer one more time to kind of like clear some of the things that we're still holding on with the karma, with other stuff. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, and heard to anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have experienced that was done, been, seen, and heard to me by anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, and heard to me, by me, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. How are you feeling? A little bit different than when we started. So we have about 3 minutes left in the show. Just again, reminder that you can contact me with any questions. You can download the expansion exercise we did in the first part of the show, and it's free on my website, Creating Abundance with Ease. You can find lots of links on my link tree, which is in the podcast. And also email me at helen.g@att.net or helen@accessconsciousness, helen@creatingabundancewithease.com. I'm sorry, scratch out access consciousness because it's helen@creatingabundancewithease.com. So with a couple of minutes left in the show, I just want to invite you to a different space. Because a lot of times we choose either for us or against us, for somebody else or against somebody else. And I was talking to my daughter who is going through a tough time right now right now she's actually wonderful with her cancer, but she was talking about that she thought that she was choosing the treatment for me, for people that love her. But then she realizes, like, no, she's choosing the treatment for herself, for her body. But how much you in your life making choices according to other people, what would be good for other people, what would be bad for other people, against somebody else, for somebody else. What if it's just as simple as choosing for you with no point of view? And that's my invitation to you, to start looking and choosing and asking. The more you ask the question, the more you can choose. Because if you go into conclusion about something, that's not a choice anymore. It's a conclusion. If you're deciding something, it's a decision. If you're always in a question, that is choice. This is how you choose, by being a question, by questioning everything and allowing yourself to be you. And as I said, I'm doing some classes that using the tools of access consciousness to change those things. And we'll see you next week, same time, same place, on Wednesdays at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And next week, your body and aging.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Creating Abundance with Ease radio show. Dr. Helen Gitlevich will return next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have fun using the tools of the week in your life and start creating magic in your life and your body.